Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Here in this video, we are going to be going over all of the data you need to know specifically with AMC stock, as well as when I think the MOASS-like event is coming. Now, a couple different thoughts around that specifically. Do I think it's coming? When do I think it's coming? Do you think it's coming? Let me know down below in the comment section your opinions on this and whether or not you think a MOASS-like event is still coming for AMC, or if you're just in this to try to get back some of your losses. I have a couple different thoughts on that. I will share that with you here in this video and go over the sweet data. Because let's be honest, if you're in the market for a short squeeze event, if you're in the market for AMC stock to go higher, which you probably are if you're watching this video, well, I have some positive things to say as well. And we'll just start with that. The Ortex data, okay? I think it's clear that AMC stock is very short. Right. It's been sold short for many years. I don't think shorts have really ever covered on their short positions, but the numbers that we get reflected have changed a lot over the last 2 years. Okay. If you take a look at the short position currently, it's at about 14.25%. That is double 100% gain or rise from where you were to start 2024. I think that it doesn't really do much for us because we already know that the stock is heavily short. 14%, we laugh at that. But it does a lot for anyone else that is trying to find a short squeeze trade, or a trade that might start to actually rebound and do better, because the higher the short interest, the more likely you are to see a short squeeze. And a lot of people, let's say your average folk on Wall Street, they don't understand how short AMC is like we do. Right. So they see 14%. They're like, wow, that's pretty short. Now, if we go higher from there, over 20%, that could obviously be big, right, for AMC. And the prospects of a short squeeze over 20% short interest is like, wow, yeah, you're getting to quite squeezy levels there. Okay, so short interest looking good. You have $157 million currently in short positions. Days to cover sitting at 2.6, 37.37 million shares that are currently sold short. Shares out on loan, 53.69 million. Cost to borrow, 1.12%. Utilization of 69.31%. And a short score of 69.8 out of 100. So all is looking pretty good there. Cost to borrow fees sitting at about 6% as well. So definitely seeing a lot of demand to short AMC, that's for sure. And I mean, we continue to see that, right? That's not really new information to you guys, but I do think the short interest is likely to continue to trend up to about 20% or so, probably even higher than that before we do get this potential MOASS-like event that I'll talk about here in this video. And that's just going to make things even better for AMC and bringing new capital back into the stock. You do have for this week open interest to the call side of about 65.55%, open interest to the put side of 34.45%. So definitely more calls than puts, about a 2-to-1 ratio of 2 times as many calls compared to puts. So that's a pretty good ratio to be sitting at. But we'll see. It could get better. It could get worse. Time will tell. If we take a look at the Stock Tracker data, we got about 3,600 calls currently in the money for this week, 43,000 calls out the money for this week. In the money puts at about 4,300 and out the money puts at about 20,000. Now, if we take a look at sentiment, I find this very interesting. Sentiment today is actually very positive for AMC, considering it's a weekend and AMC was not exactly having a great Friday. That's pretty interesting. Sentiment today is bullish at 55. Yesterday was at 34. So that's a big jump in bullish sentiment. We'll see what happens. We really don't have any news or rhyme or reason to why the sentiment is higher today than it previously was, but nonetheless it is, so I'll take it. Message volume today is 58, down 1 point from yesterday's 59, so that's definitely good as well. Participation ratio is at 55, which is basically just staying at right about where it is. So not too much change with the participation ratio, but that does look healthy as well. Not super great, but definitely looking healthy. As far as the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average, that was down about 5% on Friday. Well, 8%, technically 5% of stocks fell under their 50-day moving average on Friday. This is really just not the greatest market in general. It's not the healthiest market. People say there's a broadening out of this market. I just don't see it. The interest rate sensitive stocks just don't see it. A stock like AMC just doesn't see it. For better or for worse, good news, bad news, doesn't matter. These stocks, these interest rate sensitive names are not just doing well at all. Okay, they're just not doing well. And I think it's hard to say this market is super healthy when you don't have participation of the small cap stocks, and when it's basically a coin toss whether or not a stock is above their 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average. That means a stock is trending down if it's not above its 50-day moving average. That's a little problematic. Okay. So that's kind of what the data looks like. As far as the technicals, AMC stock is in a very weird situation as well. You need to get above that 50-day moving average for the bulls. The bulls need to get above that 50-day moving average, currently at about $4.36 per share. If you don't get above that, things are just not looking that great. Okay, you got to get above that, trend to your 100-day moving average, and then ultimately go higher than that. Now, I think one thing that is really, really missing right now, is you don't have AMC's management that is working with you. AMC's management is working against AMC stock. So Adam Aron can get on Twitter, he can say this, he can say that, but the bottom line is they are doing nothing to help AMC stock go higher, which is quite concerning. It's quite weird because that's precisely what they need. They need AMC stock to get higher, go up in price so they can sell stock. Right? That's their mission here. That's what they want to do. They want to sell stock. They need to get AMC stock higher to be able to sell stock. And of course, that is just not happening. Okay. And if AMC's management ever decides to work in our favor, that's going to be great for the MOASS like event. Because all Adam Aron really has to say is, hey, we're not going to dilute shareholders anymore. We're done with the dilution. We're going to take a period of time and 3-6 months and not dilute shareholders. Fantastic. That would be awesome if we get that. AMC stock would start to really perform much better and things would be all fine and dandy. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that. I had a lot of confidence last earnings that's what was coming. Adam Aron really hinted at new information coming on the earnings call. He kind of pulled us all for suckers there. We didn't get any new information. We got a lot of rambling from Adam Aron. Nothing, just no good new information. He cut his pay by 25%. Who cares? You should not be getting paid at all. Okay? Not until you get shareholder value up, because come on, dude. You're down huge in the last year or so, but you still get a salary, so who freaking cares? And you sold AMC close to the top, so who freaking cares anyways, right? That's Adam Aron's perspective. From the company's perspective, if they want to survive, they have to get AMC stock higher. There's been a lot of talk about a reverse split lately. I don't know if that's coming. That would obviously be terrible. We just had a reverse split not too long ago. If AMC stock does trend back down to, call it $1 or so and threatens to get delisted, then you probably get another reverse split. Now, I think one of the biggest issues plaguing small cap stocks, a stock like AMC, is you just don't have cash coming into our markets. You don't have capital getting put to work in our markets, specifically in the areas of our markets that AMC is in. Interest rate sensitive stocks, small cap stocks. Just there's no money being put to work there, right? All the money is sitting in bonds. It's sitting on the sideline. Just not a whole lot is moving in small cap stocks. And that is a bit of a problem as well. That is also quite problematic for AMC specifically, because you need capital, you need new money coming into our markets, or things are just not going to get moving, right? Without new capital, that's a rough situation. 2021, part of the reason why, stocks did well during that period of time was because there was a lot of money coming into our markets. We haven't seen that lately. So a couple different ways I think we get the MOASS-like event. I don't think it's going to come fundamentally. I don't think there's anything fundamentally that is going to change the game for AMC. They're not going to discover diamonds under their theater. It's just not going to happen. What could happen is the management at AMC, they say, hey, we're not going to dilute shareholders for a period of time, 3-6 months or so. And at the same time, we start to get interest rate cuts from the Fed. That could allow AMC to extend out their debt instead of their debt coming due in 2026, forcing them to potentially file Chapter 11 bankruptcy by 2026. Really, this would probably happen late 2025, so a year and a half from now or so. AMC can start to refinance their debt and start to extend out maturities, maybe for lower interest rates. And that could fundamentally move the needle for AMC. So I think if you're buying AMC at these prices, that makes a lot of sense. Now, does investor enthusiasm come back into the stock? I think you need to see, again, the management working with shareholders, not against shareholders. And I think you need to see an overall better market environment for small caps. And I think you get that when rates do start to be cut. Fed Jerome Powell is looking for a reason. He's searching for a reason. He's picking up boulders and looking like, hey, dude, give me a reason to start cutting rates and I will, but we're not getting that. We'll see this week. Fed Jerome Powell may start to get more reasons to cut rates. And we'll talk about that in the next video, as well as GME earnings, which will also be coming out this week that could have a positive or negative effect on AMC stock. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information. But again, by June, I think AMC should be reacting better as we start to get the first cut. That's when we're currently pricing. Maybe it comes in July. Who knows? June, July, summertime. You start to get AMC, responding, reacting a little bit better. And then subsequently from there, it's really going to depend on the pace of cuts and what AMC's management does in terms of, working for or against shareholders. And do I think the MOASS-like event is coming? I do. I do think a MOASS-like event is coming. I don't think it's going to be quite what some people expect, but I do think hundreds of percents higher from here is coming in AMC stock. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.